Welcome all you whiskey crazies out there. This is Mark from WhiskyWhistle bringing you whiskey review number 37. Today we have a very special guest with us, all the way from Ireland in fact, and this is my first Irish whiskey that I've covered. This comes from Hyde Irish Whiskey. Now you may not have heard of this brand before, but you will. I believe they just started getting going earlier in 2015. And they're looking forward to hopefully, I believe they do wish to bottle their own single malt Irish whiskey, Irish single malt whiskey. Anyway, so here we have their first offering, and this has been provided for them, made for them by, I believe, the Cooley distillery, in fact. Who make many other Irish whiskey brands. Anyway, so without further ado, let's crack that open and we'll pour it and then we'll smell it and taste it and we'll talk a little bit about Hyde Irish whiskey. Okay, very attractive little bottle. It's got a nice thick glass, heavy bottom, which is quite nice. Anyway, there it is. And so in Ireland, they're from Cork, and here it says, a taste of West Cork. And the distillery is known as Hibernia Distillers. And the actual name of the town is Skibbereen. Hopefully that is the correct pronunciation. Okay. Now, I've never tried this before, so this is my second on-air first ever whiskey tasting, and I can already smell it. Very malty, very fresh. And they sent along a little package that includes a nice little, whoops, almost went in the water, a nice little piece of dark chocolate. So there it is. I don't know if you can see that. So we will get to that shortly, and I will pour this. Okay. Here we are. Make sure that's in focus. That should be good. That's about half the bottle, I would say. And of course, we're going to let that sit for a little while to make sure it breathes and so on. Wonderful nose first off. I'm getting a sandalwood or a pine wood kind of scent. Spruce perhaps. Okay, now, so this has been a sample that was provided for me from Hibernia Distillers, and they sent along a nice letter as well as their pamphlet. So I'll show you a quick view of the pamphlet. And you can see rolling right here, very cool styling in terms of the some of the media that they've created. That's the logo for Hibernia Distillers. And what's next there? This is the presentation of the full bottle. So you get a very attractive case that it comes in. And there's this is number 2. This one is a rum cask finish. This one happens to be a sherry cask finish. And that's the logo burnt onto a cask. And then the last picture, this is Connor Hyde. He is, I believe, possibly the financier. But anyway, he is at the helm of this new venture. And there's his brother, Alan, and I believe his nephew, whose name is Peter, promoting their brand. Okay, so I'm going to read the letter to you. 6th January 2016. Please find enclosed a sample of Hyde 10-year-old pure single malt Irish whiskey. We hope that you like the taste of Hyde whiskey and that you will find the time to let us know your feedback on Twitter or Facebook. On Twitter, it's at Hyde Whiskey. Don't forget the E on whiskey because this is Irish whiskey. We apologize for not being able to provide you with a larger sample, but as you can imagine, every drop is precious, given that our whiskey is only made in very small limited edition batches, which take 10 plus long years to age. I've attached an information leaflet with some tasting notes, which may be of some help. I'm not going to read those ones before I do my own. Thank you once again for taking the time to taste Hyde Irish Whiskey. We really appreciate any feedback that you can give us online, as we are a small company just starting out on a long road. Your time is very much appreciated. Yours sincerely, Connor Hyde. Thank you very much, sir. I do look forward to tasting this. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to leave the pamphlet for now, but I will tell you, I mentioned it's sherry cask. This is 46% ABV, and it is non-chill filtered. Okay, so it has not gone through a chill filtration process. And you see a little bit of information there about being non-chill filtered and what exactly chill filtration is. Okay, I'm going to close up those tasting notes there, and we'll do our own. And before we do that, there'll be a short advertisement right about now. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too annoying. Again, thank you so much for your support. Those advertising funds, should there be any, will help me to continue to taste new whiskeys and provide these reviews. I do hope that you appreciate that, and I certainly appreciate your taking the time to watch my little reviews. Sometimes they're pretty long. Okay, all right. And if you have not subscribed, I sure hope that you will. You'll see a little button at the bottom right there. You can push that and you'll automatically subscribe to WhiskyWhistle. Okay, now a very familiar looking whiskey. Apparently this has not been colored, and they've stated that on the label as well as in the package. So this is the original color of this whiskey. And you can see the beading effect that's going on there on the glass. At the top of where the whiskey kissed the glass there. And some good tears rolling down, or legs you may want to call them. And that rim that's going to be left there is something that seems to happen most often with non-chill filtered whiskeys. So I'm very happy to see that little tear, those little pearls around the edge of where the whiskey had touched the glass. Anyway, let's smell that one. Good luck to Hibernia Distillers. Cheers, everyone. Well, I'm not going to drink it yet, am I? Okay. The forest notes have really come out even more so. I mentioned spruce trees, pine trees, sandalwood. Quite perfumey. And in the midst of that, there are some nice dark raisins. And something of a nougat, like a vanilla nougat. Oh, this is making my mouth water. Lovely. Okay, well, definitely vanilla nougat, raisins, maybe a touch of fresh apple in there as well. Wood spice, a little bit of wood smoke as well. Okay, so let's drink that now. Cheers, everybody. That is really something. As a single malt, it is very different, however, even though it's a single malt, it's very different from Scotch single malt. What's the difference? The pine essence, that sandalwood note, seems to be something that is quite common in Scotch whiskies. In Irish whiskies. My goodness, that was a faux pas. In Irish whiskies, with an E. From what I've tasted, they all seem to have that sort of a similar thread woven through. Very, very interesting. I don't have enough time on air here to really explore this. So what I will do, I'm going to put extra tasting notes on WhiskyWhistle Facebook, as well as WhiskyWhistle on Twitter. Don't forget WhiskyWhistle, no spaces, and no E on whiskey. And for the Koreans who are watching over here, on my Naver blog, WhiskyWhistle as well. And you can look that up in Korean, WhiskyWhistle, or in English, WhiskyWhistle, and you'll find that. Okay? Let's try that one more time. This is extremely smooth for 46%. The finish is a bit buttery, kind of like a buttered muffin. Maybe a buttered bran muffin, something with a bit of a grain flavor to it. So the barley, buttered barley bread. They do sell barley bread here in Korea, in fact. Okay, we're going to try that one more time. There's some good dryness as well on the palate. So this has done an excellent job of bringing in some very, very tasty wood flavors into the whiskey. The distillate, the whiskey itself, appears flawless, very smooth to drink, no harsh aftertaste. What am I left with in the finish? I mentioned the buttered muffins, the bran muffins. Vanilla and still some of that lovely sort of sandalwood or pine flavors that are coming through as well. I'm going to add a touch of water, not too much, because I do like this neat as it is. So I put in about 3 or 4 milliliters into what's left, probably about 20. So taking that down a little bit. Now, was there anything interesting in the pamphlet? Oh, well, I didn't tell you the full name of this whiskey. So on the label here, this is known as the President's Cask, #1. President's Cask, and this is 10 years old. So Hyde, #1, President's Cask, #1, 10 years, aged 10 years, single malt Irish whiskey. To be fully clear. And not chill filtered and natural color. Excuse me. Okay. A little bit of the sherry is coming through with water. So a little bit more raisins, maybe some dried plums. And a bit sweeter, so that's quite nice. a little bit less of the wood. We'll try that again. Before I do so, there'll be one more advertisement right about now. Okay, let's get on to tasting that with water. It's very interesting. I've talked about balance between sweet and sour. This, in fact, has a very wonderful balance between mostly sweetness and a slight bit of bitterness. And what would I mean by that? Well, think of perhaps cranberries. So a cranberry, not the dry ones that are sweetened, but a raw cranberry, you will find a little bit sweet and also a bit bitter. Try that one more time. With water, this finish really extends. My goodness. Some lovely spices are coming through now. Some cinnamon-like spice, maybe a touch of licorice. Goodness sakes, that goes on and on. I'm going to try that one more time. The finish reaches sort of a crescendo in the first second, and then it really just slowly extends, and it keeps going and going and going. Slightly herbal, the licorice spice, as well as boy, very interesting, very lovely. All right, well, what would I give this for points? Again, the caveat is this was a sample. I didn't buy it, but I mean, goodness sakes, why would I be any less than honest? They've not paid me. I'll be quite honest with that. They merely sent me a small sample. And price-wise, I should have looked that up. I don't think it's that expensive. I think this is actually pretty reasonable, given that it's quite a limited edition. Okay, now the name of this whiskey, Hyde. Well, Douglas Hyde was the first president of Ireland. That was one reason that they've named it so. And then also the family behind this brand are also Hydes themselves. I wonder if there's any relationship there. It took me quite a bit of searching to get a picture of the family. So, gentlemen, I hope you don't mind that I did find your mug shots there. Now, I'm not going to read through the tasting notes too much. This one does say it lingers in the mouth with a long, rich finish, and it mentions rich, spicy, and oaky. I won't read the rest of that. You can find out for yourself. And I mentioned Skibbereen is where it's from, and it looks as though it's been finished in 20-year-old vintage Oloroso sherry casks. So 20-year-old, that would take a lot of the well, 20-year-old vintage sherry Oloroso cask. So the sherry was 20-year-old. So in that case, there should be quite a lot of residual sherry inside the wood. How long was the finish? Now this, it doesn't tell me exactly. But, you know, I would guess that from the taste of this, it should probably be around about a year. So 9 years in bourbon, and then a year in the sherry cask. Anyway, all right. So the Whiskey Whistle score for Hyde Irish Whiskey, the sherry finish, President's Cask number 1. We're going to give this. I'm going to give that 22 out of 25 for the nose. $23 out of 25 for the taste. $24 out of 5 for the finish. And for the balance, balance plus gumption, I think that they deserve, as a balanced sherry cask finish, 24. Okay, there we go. 24 out of 25 for the balance there. Okay, so that's 22, 23, 24, and 24. That's 1, 1, 2, and 3. So that's 3 and 2 is 5, 6, 7, 93 out of 100 for Hyde Single Malt Irish Whiskey, the sherry finish. Okay, here's another close-up. And, well, I hope you enjoyed today. If so, please do subscribe. Again, my name is Mark, and you're watching Whiskey Whistle. I hope you'll tune in next time for Whiskey Review number 38. And I believe that is going to be something from USA. And following that, number 39, we will get back into the Classic Malts series. Okay? All right. That's it from me here, and take care. Have yourself a wonderful day or night, whatever time of day or night it is there. Goodbye.